Hello, my name is Kurt. My name is Smurf in game. Here is another video of me documenting my Wurm Unlimited experience on the Zenath server. Now, the last video I showed you guys was just me starting out. As you can see here, I made some decent progress on my house. Pretty cool. Started building a staircase to start the second floor here. And I have neighbors. Yes, Smurf has neighbors. Yesterday, I was just messing around pretty much after I made that video. Some people hit me up. There were new people. Well, they didn't hit me up, but they hit up the main channel chat. And they were like, oh, I need some help finding a mine or any public mines nearby. I need some iron, this and that. And I told them there's a mine like right next to my house since you know, this Bogart dude hasn't logged in a while. So I said they could use that, you know, the more the merrier. And I led them to this mine like last night at like, I don't know, it was like I think 12 midnight. I showed them this mine and they started mining. They have a little anvil here. And I told them they could build on this land as long as it's not deeded. And one of the guys here named Nehemiah, something like that, built a nice house. I don't know how they did this so quick since they're relatively new to the game. They built this house here, pretty awesome. And another guy named Swargy, I believe, he's the one who started asking initially, and then that Nehemiah asked as well, so I led them both to this place. I put his reindeer down, Christmas spirit, whatever. This is his house, his little field. He already built a stone wall and everything. This guy made a lot of progress. And I started chatting to him, and he said, hey, what's up? I said, nice house. He said, thanks, bro. Stayed up all night making it, lol. I said, things take forever in this game, and he says, I know, it's so addicting. I agree. So it's pretty cool. I have some neighbors right next to my freaking place. And it's winter in-game too. That's pretty cool. I thought that the winter was disabled on the server, but I guess I'm wrong. I don't know what this is. Some cave bug, something. Pretty awesome. I moved my cart here. But yeah, my house is getting a little bit of progress here. So I just kind of wanted to show off the winter sort of season, how it looks like in this game, and my new neighbors and stuff like that. So things are progressing in such a short amount of time in this game, you know? And that's what the awesome thing about this game is, you know? I led two people to my mine, well, not my mine, but my area around my place, whatever. And I said, yeah, you can build here, it's no problem. And I have neighbors, so now I have friends every time I log into this game. You know, I have people to talk to and chill with, and it's kind of hard, honestly, to find that type of community in any other game. You know, if this was any other game, I would have led them to the mine. They would take everything. They would smash up all my stuff. They would steal all my stuff. You know, if this was like Rust or whatever. You know, it's hard to trust people in games like that. But in this game, it's cool. You know, pretty awesome. And you know, we're building our own little town. You know. That's the awesome thing about this game, is that it grows in real time. You know, since the last video I made, my house was not even finished fully, and you know, everything looked kind of crappy. But now my house is kind of finished, but you know, I led some people there, and look, they made so much progress already. You know, just real life people working away, making a nice little community in game for everybody to enjoy. So I'm just gonna take a little cruise down here, take a little walk. I'm gonna show off this house. Yes, this warehouse right here. Because last time I made a character in this game, like when I first started this game out, I entered this server, and this person had like a fence around here. I don't know what kind of happened to the fence or something. I don't know if it decayed or something. There was a fence here, and I was kind of falling from here, and then I got kind of stuck and glitched on the fence that was over here, and I couldn't get out, so I had to abandon that character completely, and I started new. But it's cool since I started new, because you know, I have, you know, I found this place, and I saw gold, I think. Yep, this guy has gold here. That could be useful. I don't know if I could mine in his stuff, though. From what I remember last time, I couldn't. So yeah, you know, it's a living, breathing world. That's what I like about it, you know? You log in, and the next day there's 2 huge houses next to you. It's freaking awesome. Um, and just teaming up with people in this game in general is a nice experience, because later on when I try out the PvP servers, you know, they'll be fighting by my side probably, and even if they're not willing to do the PvP stuff, you know, we could share resources. Like, we share the mine already, and if somebody builds like a cooking place or whatever, we could all share that. You know, it doesn't have to be just one person doing everything, because if you try to do everything alone in this game, it just gets kind of tricky and it gets complicated, and it takes such a long time to do anything. It's much easier if you have helping hands. So if you want to make any huge buildings and any you know, majestic castles and stuff like that, the more people you have to help you, the better it's gonna be. So yeah, just taking a little cruise down this part of the map so far. I haven't been here in a while. Like when I first joined this server, I kind of just cruised through here really quick, but I didn't really see anything. And most of the land here is deeded. I tried to like chop down trees and put a settlement up here, but I really couldn't, because, you know, everything's deeded. And by the way, there's like around 102, including myself obviously, 102 people on the server right now, which is awesome, because when I first started playing on this server, there was only around 70 to 80 people in the server, and a majority of them, like, I haven't seen, you know, too many players running around and stuff like that. But now obviously I have 2 new neighbors. That's pretty cool. And I'm seeing more and more people just build stuff, and more people sort of settle down in this game. Now this person obviously hasn't... Oh, I have to get closer, I forgot. Oh, I'm gonna take fall damage. It's the thing with this game, you fall just a little bit and you take a decent amount of fall damage. Oh, they didn't even put locks on the door. Yeah, this is totally damaged. So Danielle, I believe, has not signed in a long time. Let me check the damage on the fence. The fence isn't really too damaged yet, but the house is pretty much falling apart. Do they have a mailbox here? What is this? Spirit house. I don't know what that is. Examine. It seems to be possessed by something. I don't know what that is. I'll have to figure it out. Oh, instead of building a mine door, this is hilarious. They built just a fence around the mine. Oh, and they didn't even lock it. That's pretty funny. Oh, there's another forge here. Storage bin. Wow. Wow, that's a lot of gold ore. Oh, something's attacking me, a rat. Oh, let's fight this rat real quick. I'm taking him down super easy. They say for beginners it's best to fight like rats and wolves and stuff like that. And another thing is that in this server in particular has a sort of bounty mod, it's called. So whenever you kill like a wolf or something, it gives you a... Yeah, so you receive a bounty of 10 copper to your bank account. Earlier on, I led a bear and a wolf to one of those spirit guardians that I showed you guys in the earlier video, and he took care of it for me, and you know, he aggroed it, and I would hit it a couple times, and I still got the full bounty. So if you want to make money quick, which is kind of hard to do in Wurm Online or in just regular Wurm servers, this bounty mod helps speed things up a little bit, you know? Well, a lot actually, because you could just go out there and slay some mobs, and then you get a decent amount of income, and you can make silver pretty quick now and stuff like that. And you could also sell, because before on regular servers and in the general game, there was no such thing as a bounty mod. So you would slay mobs, and they would just give you pelt and meats and all that stuff, and you would just maybe sell those to a vendor in the main town or something, and you might get like, you know, 5 copper or something. So things have definitely progressed to be a lot easier. Wow, this is a nice place, you know. I'm thinking I should have built my house like right here. Would have been epic, you know? Like right there or in that land over there. Just have like these huge mountains to gaze upon. This is a really nice area. I have little mountains next to me too, but I'm close to the town center, so that's why I built it there, you know. Maybe I'll venture forth and build another house here sooner or later. As you see, all those trees, if that's not on deeded land, you could harvest them. That's another cool thing about this game. It's like you could alter anything you see, you know? Like all those trees, every single one of them you could harvest. It's freaking awesome, huh? And you can make a cabin out of them. You could just do a lot of different things with them. Different trees here. You have an olive tree. You can harvest that for olives and make olive oil and get your cooking skill up. You have this is a pine tree. I think things grow on their own. I don't know if you have to plant trees, but when you chop them down, I think they grow back in a couple of days. But you know, now with my neighbors and all that stuff, it's going to be a little bit, it gets a little bit competitive with the resources. Not so much the mine, but the trees and all that stuff. I probably have to venture off a little bit further, not too far, but a little bit further to get a decent amount of wood nowadays, you know? So we're closing in on, let's see, we're closing in on these fields. What is this? See a farmer's field, but they don't tell you what the crops are. I remember, I think in Wurm Online, when you examined, it would just say a crop of cotton grows here and it's growing steadily or something. But now I don't think it tells you, so I don't know what this is. This looks like some sort of, in real life this would look like stinging nettle to me or something, but I don't know what that is. Now my next sort of objective in this game is to obviously tame animals. See, this person has a fat bull and horses and stuff. I plan on, and he has his bulls attached to a large cart right there. I definitely plan, oop, there's a sunken in mine there. I think it just collapsed, unfinished mine door. I plan on taming some animals soon, no matter what they are, whether pork or something like that. I mean, pork, pigs and stuff like that, because it's beneficial, because you could ride them as a mount and they give you a little bit of a speed boost, first of all, and second of all, you could attach them to carts and stuff and make moving things a lot easier. I don't know if that's a guard down there or an actual player. No, that's a guard. But let's just swim across this thing. This boat player made, they named it to SS Duke. Well, what's that one named down there? CKBR Sailing Team. See, that's pretty cool. There's a cart, like, right in the middle of the lake. That's pretty funny. What's this ship named? Oh, just nothing. Just a regular ship. They didn't name it. I mean, building a boat is pretty cool. Like, right next to your house, I'm by a big body of water, so let me take a drink real quick. But being next to, I'm pretty much near all the resources, which as a new player, I suggest you to find a place like that where you're near water, mines, trees, and all that stuff. Because if you build a house in the middle of nowhere, like I made that mistake in Wurm Online. I built like this small little shed. It wasn't even a house at the time because I was my skills were limited to 20. I built a little shed in the middle of nowhere, pretty much. The only thing next to me was a mine. I had to travel like literally 30 to 45 minutes of real time, like real life time, to get to a water source. Not even a main town, just a water source. And what I did in Wurm Online is that I built a sort of a well or something, and I would just I would take a small cart or a large cart at the time, I don't remember, and I would pull it by myself to a water source. I would fill barrels with water, and then I would pour them into my little water fountain thing, and then that way I had water. See, a lot of people don't lock their stuff on this server. In Wurm Online, I remember everybody locking everything. Because in Wurm Online, you could actually pick lock and you could do that stuff, and you could actually steal people's stuff, I think, on the server that I played on, Wurm Online. I don't remember exactly how that works. See, this person has cooked meat. I can't take it. I can't do anything. He has some cows. It's pretty cool. Some horses, some plants here, some shacks. He built like a shack with a bunch of plants around. That's pretty funny. Whoa, 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 whoa. What is this? That's really cool. Callie, Happy, Pawkiss. So he named Fat Pawkiss. So he named that. Wow, these are freaking cool horses. I didn't know these exist. I knew unicorns and stuff exist in this game, but those are freaking awesome. I want those. They're probably super fast on mounts. They remind me a lot about. They remind me a lot of the original Warlock Mount in World of Warcraft. Like, if you were a Warlock back in vanilla World of Warcraft and a little bit after that, it was one of the cool classes to play because you got a free mount. Like at 60 or 50 or something, you did this quest at your trainer, whatever, and you would get a free mount, and it looked super cool. So I was playing with my friends at the time, and some family members as well, and they had to dish out like a lot of gold. Like back then, gold in World of Warcraft was not easy to make, and mounts were relatively new back then, I believe. So they had to grind for hours and hours and hours, whereas I just got it for free. So yeah, let's take pita sauce. I saw this dude a couple days ago, so he's probably active. So let's take a cruise down this way. Actually, maybe that's not a good idea. Yeah, this is just going to be heading back. Let's head out more this way because there seems to be more to look at this way. So anyway, guys, I mean, I just wanted to make a video to share at the quick progress, you know, like maybe you guys that watched my first video, you're like, oh, this game seems pretty dead or whatever. But as you can see here, as I said, you know, everything that I said is true. The community is nice, you know, people are joining. It's just a nice chill game. And as you see, yesterday I was on a little patch of land by myself with an abandoned person's you know, stone house next to me. And today, you know, well, yesterday I led some people there, and they were pretty much brand new newbies. Like, they had no gear, they had no nothing. I led them to my mine, and boom, you know, I log in today, and there's 2 big houses next to me. Pretty freaking cool, huh? So, this person's unfinished thing. Oh, they have a bed. I wonder if I could use this. No, I can bash it. This place is decaying, I think. Yep. Let's see. Yeah, this person hasn't been online in a while either. Wow, cool. A loom. See? See how crazy this game is? Like, it has everything. Like, but to make that, that's probably a pain in the neck, I'll tell you right now. Just to make a stupid wall in the house. Can I do this? Oh, no, I don't want to do that. See, I don't know if you can, but I almost broke his freaking bed. Can I bash his walls? Let me see if I can do that. Wall... Destroy wall. I don't want to do that. You know, what if he logs in and something like that, you know? I don't want to be that rude. I would like to show you guys that maybe you can actually grief on this server, but, you know, I don't think that's a good idea. There's also a vampire mod in this server, which is pretty cool, because it allows you to become a vampire or a vampire hunter or something along those lines, and you have to feast on corpses and stuff, so that's pretty cool. It adds another sort of a medieval RPG sort of, you know, a mystical kind of tinge to the game, because the original game, you know, you had your regular mobs, you didn't really have too many epic mobs. Like I said, Wurm Online is constantly being updated. But when I first started playing many years ago, there was barely any mobs around, and you know, I could see how it would get boring sooner or later. But they patched it, and they add things every couple of months to the game, which is cool. New recipes, new mobs, you know, epic things, and stuff like that, which is cool. And it's going to happen with Wurm Unlimited as well, especially since it's on Steam. It's getting a bit of a bigger audience. Like the first day I got this game, Wurm Unlimited, there was only like around 150 total players in game, but now when I check, there's around 600 or so players spread out through all the servers. So that's pretty cool. It's definitely gaining some recognition. Let's see if there's anybody around me. Nope, I'm alone. This is how you check, by the way. If you want to know if somebody's around you, if you want to jack some pumpkins or something, just go to local and you'll see people's names. By the way, I have to add my neighbors as friends or whatever, so in case they ever want to move out, or you know, they go somewhere to PvP or something, you know, I don't lose touch with them, because in this game, like I said, a lot of people are friendly. It's cool to make friends. long term and all that stuff. Because people that played Wurm Online, they have friends that, you know, people that they talk to over years and years, and they even meet up in real life and stuff like that, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, definitely gotta add my neighbor players as friends, so I know when they're online and I could hit them up and ask them where they are and stuff like that. See, like I said before in my previous video, I currently am. Oh no, that's a troll, isn't it? Yep, no thank you. So you can get a glimpse into the mobs real quick. As I said, sorry if this video is a little bit laggy. For some reason I tried using OBS to record regularly like I record most games, but it doesn't allow me to do that. It just crashes my entire game, and I don't even have my graphics set up on super high or anything. So I have to do monitor capture, which makes everything a bit laggy, but screw it, you know. A majority of this video is me just talking through a lot of things and sharing my experience. It doesn't have to be top-notch production, you know. As you could tell, probably right now, I'm freaking lost. That's another thing, as I said about this game. You get lost, good luck trying to find your way back. Now, for many of you, I challenge you to make it back to where I was in the beginning. It's going to be a little bit difficult. I'll probably figure out a way, but like I said, you always have to keep your eyes peeled for landmarks and, you know, things that look peculiar, because if you get lost, you know, you're lost. So right now, the best thing to do if you're lost, by the way, some advice coming from Wurm Online, is that you just go to the main body of water, if there is one around you, or like the main sort of area. And for me, I would just follow this river all the way back down, and I would make it to my place. But if you don't have a river by your place, there's just land everywhere, you're in the middle of nowhere, then even following landmarks, if you have no other houses around you, like, oh, there's an olive tree here, but there's an olive tree over there, and over there, and over there, so how would you know which olive tree it is, you know? So it's kind of hard. I know some people back in Wurm Online that they would actually drop like crappy items, like they would drop wood scraps or, you know, even logs on the ground to like every, you know, couple of minutes of real life walking and stuff like that, and that way they could just follow that loot back to their place. The good old times. Mr. Cassidy's cottage. See, the thing with this cottage is that it's a little bit nicer, and I believe it's timber framed. Let me see. Yeah, definitely, because the walls are a lot different than mine. So what he did is he did the timber house here, which is a little bit harder to make because you have to use like whole logs, I think, or something like that, and you have to use stone or something. So it's just it looks nicer, certainly, and it decays slower, but it's just pretty difficult to make as a new player. But you know, you always learn and you always progress. Okay. So I'm running out of stamina slowly. I'm gonna have to head to town center to get some food again. Which is actually what that Swargy guy and that other guy were doing yesterday when I found them, because they're like, Swargy's like, oh yeah, where are you? I'm like, oh, I'm next to Seoul, which is the name of the main town. And he's like, oh, I'm heading there because I need to fill up on food and water, yeah. Which is cool because they didn't have that back in Wurm Online. They had the bartender, but you know, it wasn't super good. You know, it wasn't worth traveling like 10 minutes of real life time to get to him. You know, it was just better to find a water source on your own and just start cooking. And by the way, I'm gonna start cooking a lot more in this game because there's more recipes coming out and stuff like that. And having your cooking is a really good skill to have, because you can, you know, you could make your own food and you have a water source near you, so that's not a problem. You can make your own food and you don't have to travel, and also getting your cooking up is good, because if you travel too far away from the main, you know, town, and if you're going to do PvP, and if you're going to be doing a lot of exploring in this game, hunting, you know, rare mobs and finding rare iron and stuff like that, you're going to need to do a lot of traveling, so you just can't sort of situate in one area. So you're going to need some food on the go and stuff like that, so it's good to develop your cooking skill early. That way you could do it anywhere. You could just forage and botanize and just quick whip up a quick stew or casserole real quick and replenish that. You got somebody's cart here, janky something. Wait, janky cart. Free? What? Can I legitimately take that? Nah, I doubt it. That's just probably a funny thing that a person named it. See this settlement token? So all this is his, Anton, and Hunter's Cottage, and the guard tower. I don't know if the guard towers are player made or if they're actually spawn in automatically with the server. Yeah, this is not damaged, so this guy's paying his deed, I think. It's like a shield here or something. Trash heap. I need one of those because my land looks really nasty. Like there's wood piles and like just scraps everywhere because they encumber me, so I just drop them everywhere. Anyway, guys, the main goal of this video is just kind of to show you if I could find some animals. Like I can't really tame them now anyway, because I don't know which food they like. The taming process in this game is you have to go up to an animal, and you know, back in the day it was through trial and error. You would feed like a wolf or a dog or whatever, you know, some fruit. You didn't like it, then you would have to try again, and if you fail too many times they attack you, and then it's kind of difficult, and through trial and error you eventually get it. But let's see if I could find some lemons here. No, pick clean. Okay, yeah, I wanted to find some animals, but as you can see, it's not that easy to find some animals here. Maybe on this server in particular, but I remember in Wurm Online it wasn't really easy to find animals either. So you just have to, I guess I just have to ask them, the people that are playing this game or whatever at the moment, just like, oh, where do I find a horse or, you know, something to tame, and they'll probably lead me in the right direction. So I'm probably not going to do that in this video. I'll probably make a next video of me trying to tame something and, you know, see how that goes. But for now we're just gonna I'm just gonna explore this winter season. The snow isn't too bad, really, because I remember in the original Wurm Online, like, it was the snow really burned the eyes. Like it was a real visual strain to actually play this game for long durations of time, because it was just overwhelming, like white on your screen all the time, you know. Maggie, I passed by this particular house not too long ago. It seems that she opened some of the animals there. She has another animal there, and she had a mine that I tried to mine in earlier when I was playing this, when I first made this character. But the mine was restricted, you know, because this is her deed, obviously. Oh, I just fell. Okay, so I kind of get the general idea of where I am. So I'm just gonna walk back, I guess, and I'm gonna end this video. You know, I apologize if this video is maybe boring, but I mean, if anybody's into Wurm Online or Wurm Unlimited, whatever, you'll probably find this entertaining, because this is kind of how the game is. You know, it requires a lot of time, it requires a lot of dedication, and you have to have a lot of patience, and you have to be a mature person to enjoy this game. Because if you're like a kid or whatever, or just anybody that likes things super quick, you know, you get into Rust, you get into Minecraft, and some people may say, oh, you know, it has a learning curve and it's just hard to get started. Not necessarily, you know. In Minecraft you can get started off really quick, and Rust as well, you know. It's not as complicated as this game. It may take you a couple of hours, but you'll figure things out. In this game it takes you legitimate days of real in-game time to figure things out. So you need to have persistence and maturity, because it's more rewarding in the end anyway, because, you know, I built this little house that I didn't even finish yet, and it gives me some sort of validation, like, yeah, all my hard work, it took me this long to make it. And then, you know, finding neighbors and having them build stuff, it's just so much awesome. Like in Minecraft, you just, oh yeah, let me build a real quick grass hut or something, and then you find other players. It's just not as entertaining to me. Also with OCD tendencies, this is an ideal game too, because this game has a lot of OCD elements, you know, to perfect everything, to do everything. It takes a lot of dedication. Now, as you guys may see, and I don't know if you guys paid attention to my land in particular, but I paved the road going from my my little hut. What is that? Garlic? Yeah. Can I loot this actually? This may prove useful to me. It's probably belladonna as a poison. I know that from real life. And garlic, it seems like some sort of vampire repellent, you know, because this server has vampires enabled, so maybe that's some sort of vampire repellent. Well, they're not gonna miss their garlic that was hanging out in the middle of nowhere anyway. But yeah, I paved the road going from the mine to my little hut, and it made things a lot easier for the other guys because they started paving their own roads too. Because regular unpaved ground, it takes a while to travel on. And the paving process is a pain in the neck too, because it's not easy. You know, you have to mine rock shards from a mine, and you have to pick them up, and if you pick up pretty much more than 2, you get over encumbered already. So you're working with 2, and then you have to pack down some dirt, and then you have to click on the rock shards, and you have to hit pave, and then it takes a while, and you do that over and over again. So if you want to pave a long road or a highway or something, it's going to take ages. That's why I have huge respect for anybody that actually built the main roads or the connecting roads, because they did a nice job, and it takes freaking ages of real life dedication to actually make those. Now, I harvested some strawberries earlier from my little patch. Let me pick my seeds while I'm walking. Cool. I started off with 1 strawberry crop, and I kept picking seeds, and now I have 3 or 4. So that's pretty cool. That's another thing I suggest anybody starting off with the game. Just don't be tempted to eat everything you find automatically. Just pick the seeds, and then that way you could start your own sort of plantation, and you could have a permanent supply of those crops, you know? I could probably plant the garlic on its own, can I not? That's how you do it in real life. There's really no garlic seeds. Let's see. Just stick the whole bulb in the ground. Let's see. So yeah, guys, I don't know how long this video's been dragging out. But I'm gonna try to make my way back. I'm not finding any animals right now, so I'll make sure. I just wanted to share with you guys that I have some neighbors and stuff like that, and if you're still interested in joining the game, feel free. You know, those 2 guys built some houses near my place, and there is definitely more stuff available. There's definitely more space available, so, you know, we could be neighbors, you know. More people, the more the merrier. You know, I have 2 people already that I just met in-game. If I have people from my YouTube channel, that would be pretty freaking cool. You would be featured in my videos as well, you know, in my Wurm videos and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool if you think about it. So anyway, guys, the next video that I'm going to make, I'm going to find animals. Like, I'm going to play the game on my own, obviously. I'm going to find some animals, and then I'm going to have the actual resources available on hand. I'll look it up on the Wurmpedia, whatever, to actually tame them. And that way, I'll be in front of the animal, and then I'll just hit the record button on my game, whatever. And then I'll record, you know, my documentation, my experience of taming animals in this game, and then leading them back to my place and stuff like that. I said I saw a YouTube video earlier, yesterday or something, of somebody taming a cow, and then they just mounted it automatically and they just rode it back to their place. It's pretty cool. They got a little speed boost and everything. So riding around on a bull or a cow, that would be pretty funny. I also have a rope in my inventory. I didn't know what this was when I first started the game. You get this. I think it has several different uses, but now I know that you could attach the rope to the animal and just kind of lead it with you. But I'd rather just mount it automatically. And he has some sheep too here. Oh, who is this? Lunox or something like that. Has a little shed here with some grass to feed the animals. That's pretty cool. So yeah, that would be pretty cool. I could attach them to my cart, and then I could make adventures easier and journeys more rewarding, because like right now I could set off and I could explore by myself, but I can't really take anything back because I'm going to be encumbered so easily. What if I find some like nice loot or something? If I had animals and if I had a cart, I could just drag it back. I need to take a sip of water. For some reason the thirst meter goes down pretty quick in this game. Why isn't my... Oh, there we go. Stamina's going up now. Let me stand a little bit more. Still taking a while. The hunger meter goes down a lot slower, but it takes a real long time. Like, you guys may think, oh yeah, you know, you just cook one casserole, eat it, and you'll be full on hunger. No, wait. It's gonna take at least 20 casseroles. And to make those, I'll show you guys really quick, since I forgot to do that in another video because I ran into a player. I don't know if I can... Oh, I'm botanizing. So you have to botanize. I found nettles. Okay. And you have to forage as well. Oh, this is picked clean. So you have to pretty much do this. You have to just walk around. I don't know if the winter season is affecting this or anything. There we go. I found a rose seedling, which doesn't really help me because I can't cook or eat that. So sometimes you find good stuff, sometimes you find garbage. So you pretty much have to do this over and over again until you find, I believe it's one foraged item and one botanized item, or is it two? I don't remember. Two of each or one of each, and then you stick them into this, where do I have it? Pottery bowl here. Then you put it in the fire, campfire, forge, whatever. You let it heat up, which takes a while, and then it automatically turns into a soup or a casserole, whatever, depending on the ingredients. And then you can't even eat it because it's too hot, you know? That's another funny thing, you know? Nothing is quick in this game, you know? Like in other games, Rust or Minecraft, you cook something, you eat it automatically. In this game, you have to wait like, probably like 5 minutes of real life time to actually eat something, which is fairly realistic. So anyway, guys, I'm just gonna work my way back. I already know where I am for the most part. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope these videos pique an interest in anybody watching. And feel free to join me on the Xenath servers. Hit me a tell, send me a tell, Smurf in game, or add me on Steam, Surf from Smurf City, and we can have a great time. So, because like the first video I showed you guys, like I said, it may have seemed dead, you know, there are not too many people around. Oh, why do I want to play this game? And now, as you can see, I already have 2 people building houses next to me. You're interested in the game, that could be you. You know, you could just build a nice place by me. We can make YouTube videos together, stuff like that. It'd be pretty fun. We could share our experiences. This is what the game's about. It's about sharing experiences, sharing memories, and sharing fun times in a universe. It's a very chill and relaxed and laid-back game. It's not like where you go raiding like in World of Warcraft and stuff like that. Sure, those memories may be, you know, intense and you know, enticing, but you know, with this game, it's cool. You know, I log in, I see guys building houses, and they're gonna keep building their houses, and it's like, wow, every day, you know, something changes. It reminds me a lot of Animal Crossing. I used to play back on GameCube. Reminds me a lot of that, but a more mature and adult sort of version with actual real-life players. So I think that's my house right there. Is it? I think it is. Let me just make it there. Yep, that's my place. This guy's building a roof already. Jeez. He's making more progress than I am. Crazy. Anyway, guys, I hear somebody digging somewhere. Hope you guys enjoyed. I have decent scenery around my place. You know, pretty cool. There's a mine shaft in there. Maybe I can go mine later. Alright guys, so that was another documentation of Wurm Unlimited Xenath server. Feel free to join me. Hope you enjoyed. Peace out. Have a good time.